Infernal Sky, bringing you another Zer's inventory. I also have some other news for you if you stick around. But we are out here in the reef again. Um, Seems to be the place that he likes to be. I'm not sure. I had previously said that I wasn't sure if Three of Coins would be here. I was incorrect. It's also in the description below that it is a glitch in his system for whatever reason. He can only carry 5 items. I'm not sure why or how. So when they added that 10 block of heavy ammo, it pushed Three of Coins out the first few weeks. And then they fixed it so it pushed the glass needles out the last week. But apparently they're going to try to get it so it'll have all 6 or something. I don't know why it would glitch that way, but Bungie said that they're working on it and it should be in a hot patch sometime in the near future. With that being said, you have your material exchange, which is exotic shards and modes of light. If you need any of those, you have your plasm drive and void drive for those rare sparrows. If you need that, I don't really run into very many rare sparrows to upgrade, but it's an option. You do have your 3 ammo cents for 1 strange coin. I'd liked the 10 personally better, but 3 will work. Your 3 of coins and your glass needles. I would guess they're bringing back the 10 stack once they figure out that glitch, but I'm not sure. But good news for everybody. 3 of coins should be here to stay, as well as glass needles. Again, I don't really use glass needles, but it's a difference that people might want. Today we have a special legacy engram. So year 1 special ammo or special weapon. So if you need to complete that wall in your exotic area, you could get this for that year 1 stuff. Moving on, Titan gear, you have Empyrean Bellicros or something like that. I'm not sure how to say that. Sorry. You do have better already, so your shields start when you grab an orb. I personally like this a lot, and as a Titan, you're probably going to be using your super more often than some of the other classes. So it might be more useful than, say, like a Sunsinger Warlock, who's going to hold on to that super if they're self-resing until they actually need a self-res, obviously. But moving on, you have Ashes to Assets, so grenade kills, grenade kills give you more super energy, or Second Thoughts, you gain super energy on special weapon kills. Realistically, that just depends on your playstyle. If you'd prefer to whip out that secondary weapon and use it to kill people, to get more super energy, that's great. But if you're more of a grenader, maybe using the Ashes to Assets would be better. You do have increased discipline and increased intellect, which isn't too horrible. Again, it's going to either increase that grenade charge or your super faster, and it is at a 91% roll, so it's not quite perfect, but it's better than a lot of things that Xur has been selling lately, like the other 2 items. You also have the anti-gravity thrusters, which will hold you in space when you're jumping if you're aiming down sights, I believe. Yes. And on orb collections, while super is full, it'll recharge that melee attack. Could be beneficial, could not be. Kind of depends again on your playstyle. If you like aiming while you're floating in the air, that's something that you can do. Also, if you like to punch people, it might be something that's helpful, as it'll help recharge your melee ability as well. Moving on, you got young Amakara spines for the hunter. With that, you have a pulse rifle reloader or machine gun loader. So you're going to have faster reload speeds on either of those. Transfer or momentum transfer, gain bonus melee energy on grenade hits. So if you try to combo a melee grenade thing, it could help because it'll bring one back. So if you have another thing that gives you bonus grenade on melee hits, it can kind of stack it so it double stacks for you. Kind of useful. Or you have fastball, which increases those throw distance. I know a lot of people like using that with those trip mine grenades, as that's the benefit of these spines. It just allows you to get a little bit better positioning sometimes. It does take some getting used to, but once you do, it's fairly easy to land those grenades where you want them. You have increased intellect and increased discipline. Again, your super and or grenades. Blah. And it is only at a 90%, so it's not horrible, but it's not the best in the world either. Then you also have field trip, which again increases trip mine grenade duration, and you also get an additional trip mine. So it really helps because you have two of them, so you can kind of do a zone control a little bit easier, as you can force people to either take the time to blow up the trip mine and or move around it. Um, Sometimes that's all you need to do to get that first hit on them and be able to win that gunfight. Next, for the Warlock, you have the Void Fang Vestments. Um, you have Void Burn Defense or Void Armor, um, which could be useful depending on which class you like to run. Obviously, these are going to be more suited for your Voidwalker class, just because of the perk that it has, as I'll get to that in a second. You do have more shotgun ammo or auto rifle ammo. Personally, I would have preferred two different ones in there. This might be a place where the glass needles might help. I'm not sure. But then you also have increased intellect and increased discipline, just like the other two. And it is at a 96, so it's at the worst roll that you can get this week. But it is useful because of this perk right here, Hungering Void. You always spawn with full grenade energy. So even if you just threw your grenade and you died, you respawn with that energy, which is extremely nice in PvP, PvE, whatever. So that's kind of useful. It also gives you an extra Axion Bolt, which again can be very useful in PvP. If you're trying to chase someone out and there's 2 or 3 bolts going at 2 or 3 different people, you have them all chased out in different directions, which can give you a chance to potentially kill all 3 by yourself and or push them into one of your teammates, which is always useful as well. So again, not the best roll, but a pretty good perk, so it might be useful for those. And or, again, any of these will be good for collectors as well. This week's weapon is Bad Juju, with its ornaments, obviously, if you wanted to purchase those at a Silver Dust location. I personally like the Dragon's Bane the best. Oh, wait, nope, sorry. Hoodoo the best. I'm not sure why, it's just it seems to be a little bit sleeker. So that's personally my preference. I mean, it's up to you guys, obviously, what you would want. You have Hipfire, Armor Piercing Round, Send It, Perfect Balance, and Curse of Strings. So after each kill, it automatically reloads your magazine, which is super helpful. Also, kills with this charge your super faster. And it comes with the intrinsic perk Full Auto, so you just have to press and hold. I like this last perk. It's very useful. You can use it in both PvP and PvE. It'll help you charge that super a lot faster than, say, just a normal gun. In PvP, it's not as useful unless you really like pulse rifles. But it can still be there for you. In fact, I use it a lot when there's in PvE when there's like a nightfall that a super is going to be more beneficial to me. I used it in the Omnigul strike where it had exposure, so I could use my void grenades and stuff to recharge my health because every hit it brought back, or every kill with a grenade or Nova Bomb or melee, it would give me life still, so it would increase my life a little bit. And it would also charge that super faster, so I would have it more often, so I could keep getting my life back. That in tangent with the gauntlets that give you a second scatter grenade was really helpful in keeping me fully up with a melee grenade or super, so that way I could keep getting my health back if I needed to. Was very helpful. You can pair that with a lot of different supers to keep it coming, things like that. But that is it for Xur's inventory. On to other news. Trials of Osiris will be starting here in about 40 minutes. If any of you cared to jump on there and try to go flawless. I'll probably be getting on eventually today, but not sure when. Other than that, we also have our next Iron Banner was announced, which is this next week, and it will be Clash. So those who play solo have a better chance at getting those things done, as it is one of the more neutral to the sets that you can be. So Control and Clash are probably the two most basic and most enjoyed out of everybody. When you get into specialty ones like Supremacy or Rift, some people fall off because they don't necessarily like that type of play style. But yes, it is Clash. It will be featuring the chest armor and gauntlets, so those can be drops from end games, which can be very useful to upgrading your light if you need that, as well as it'll be dropping the special sidearm, which is one of the fastest shooting sidearms in the game, and the rocket launcher. The rocket launcher has the second highest velocity out of any rocket launcher. A couple of year ones had one more velocity than this one does. So it shoots pretty fast, and it's a pretty good rocket launcher if you can get the right rolls. But other than that, I'll be looking forward to maybe bringing you some trials this weekend, as well as hopefully I will also be bringing you next week's Iron Banner plays. At least trying to get you some of that, possibly with some of my clanmates, possibly with just me. Who knows? But until then, you guys have been great. Please hit that subscribe and like button if you feel fit. And other than that, have a good weekend. Enjoy Xur's inventory if you need something. And good luck in Trials and Iron Banner if I don't hear from you until then. Thank you very much and have a good day.